sharing. All right, we are live. Hey, here we are. All right, we're going to try this now. Let me see. There we go. Click on the live video here. And there we go. There we go. So we're going to share. I think that's already there. We're going to share now public, but I'm also going to, that was me. Share to, where are we sharing to? We're going to share to Next Millennium. Hello, how are you? My name is Wayne, and this is...
Hi, I'm Kristen, Rock Curl here at the Next Millennium.
Yes, we're down here live at the Next Millennium. We're glad you can join us. Oh, is that
We are.
Sean? There we go. And and Lauren and Nicole, how are you? Let me share this really quick here with the store.
Good afternoon, you guys.
How do we share? Share. Send a messenger. Copy link. Oh, I don't know how we're gonna do this. I don't know, but we're gonna do it.
Technical things when we're trying to work with metaphysical energies.
Right. Right. Send a message more often. Oh, I think this is because what I've done. Oh, good to see you guys. Now, if you want, go ahead and feel free to share this yourself if you know somebody that would be interested in learning about crystal grids and rune grids. And I was just going to try and get this to go on to the Next Millennium Facebook page where you can watch that as well. Let's see here. Share now. Share your story. I think I have to go in as Runeways and do this. Oh, share. There we go. More options. There we go. Share to a page. I wonder if we can... Oh, it has to be my pages. I hope somebody can share this. Somebody share it to the Next Millennium. Because we're going to do that. All right. We're going to do this. All right. So, what we're talking about today is crystal grids and rune grids, and specifically being able to use crystal grids or use runes in the same way you would with crystal grids. And now I thought about doing this, and I was kind of wondering I could teach how to do this and show you some of the runes that I use and some of the setups that are used. But I thought Kristen would be a great one to bring in, and let's talk about how we can set up a crystal grid. You might be more familiar with setting up your crystal grids, but she's a wealth of knowledge on that, and I think we can go over that. We're going to set up a crystal grid today, and then we're going to take that crystal grid and I'm going to translate it into a rune grid using runes and crystals. So, yeah, we'll check this out here. And like I said, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to ask us right there in the chat. Thank you, Cinnamon, for watching. Logan, how are you? We're going to be monitoring it over here, but we're going to actually turn the camera down to the table so that you guys can see how the crystal grids are laid out. Let me see here. I'm going to look up Next Millennium, and all the crystals that we're going to show you here today are available right here in the store, right?
They are. They're actually crystals I ran around and grabbed real quick when we figured out our intentions today.
Right.
So these are all available at the Next Millennium, as well as some of the grids you're actually going to see that I'll pull out just as examples. And I'm actually going to do that while he's doing all this technical stuff here. He's the technical guy. I'm not at all. So a lot of people, this is a real quick, 101, you guys. A lot of people have asked me what crystal grids are. Where can you get a crystal grid? What does it do? There's multiple answers to each and every one of them. So I'm going to kind of just go through and show you. So I get artsy and creative sometimes. This is a crystal grid that I created for myself. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of odd. But this is one of them that I've drawn out for myself. That was just my own energy. This was something that I was doing for earth healing. And so that's just kind of what popped into my mind. This is also an altar cloth I have. It is the seed of life. It's got the triqueta going around on the sides, on the four corners. I've also used this. I love sacred geometry, you guys. Sacred geometry is something that I roll a lot with when I'm doing crystal grids. That's a whole nother subject. But this is another grid I use when I'm doing intentions and I'm actually working with lunar energies. So that's a grid I use. I love it.
Well, now let's talk about that.
We've got the Fibonacci. We've got the moon phases. I have got all of the things in here.
So if you call it a grid, what is the purpose of the grid itself? Now, you've told me before that you can even set it up without a grid or without anything like that. But it helps. I know that it helps with the presentation, interpretation, and ritualization of of a crystal grid, but what exactly, I mean, how do people choose them when they're looking to do? What inspired you to choose the grids that you have and to make your own?
My energies, my belief systems, my intentions. I mean, these are all things that go into my choices of a crystal grid. So for me, I really do like the encompassing of all, sending energy to all, bringing in energy from all. It's not my feeling of dread. It's not my feeling of needing motivation. It's the feeling. So most of my grids are based off of the energy of all. So that's really where I go with my crystal grids. Again, this is my own energy. So what I'm talking about today is even my own energy. It can be changed with yours. It depends on your intents. So I feel like today, we were really going for the intention of just, my goodness, some healing, some protection, some
healing.
Love, some manifestation.
Right. And it's, because it is coming close to Thanksgiving is tomorrow. And for me, Thanksgiving is a really good, it's just a nice bookmark in the year to remember what you're grateful for. And also to enjoy friends and family if they're there or remote. So I thought that maybe a great, and also because everything is going on, learning how to set up a nice protective crystal grid in your home for healing, protection from viruses, and just to keep you and your family safe is kind of what we were going for today. So we're going to set up the crystal grid, and then I'm also going to then take that and set up a rune grid. So if you're into runes, or if you'd like to be, I'll show you how to translate some of the meanings of these stones and crystals into the runes, the rune setting for the grid as well. So, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here once we get into the rune grid section and why it works that way. Wow, look at, there's a lot of reflection on here.
Yeah, we're divided. Our faces, we've got division, but yet connection. How perfect is that?
Right. All right. So we're gonna get started here. We can't close this off.
And I am actually, as he tilts this down, I am setting a grid on the table that Wayne actually made. Wayne is very talented, you guys. He makes runes and grids out of wood, and they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. So he showed me this one a little bit ago, and I have decided, I'm like, that's the one I'm using right now.
Oh, right on. Here we go. All right, and we'll get you guys down here so you can see. All right, so this rune grid is really, it's wood, made of just that wood. And again, I think I drew this on paper first. So again, I really liked coming up with a pattern for the grid itself. So there you go. We got it. All right, looks good. Let's get started on creating a grid, everyone. If you have questions while we're going along, please feel free to ask them. I'm monitoring over here on the other computer, and we'll answer any questions.
All right, you guys, so I am setting up a grid for the wellness, the health and wellness of all, the connection of all, the protection of all right now, and just the healing of Earth, of Pachamama, of Mama Gaia, however you resonate. That's where we're going with this. So we always want to start with a generator in the middle. Your middle stone is always your generator, and I always choose clear quartz. I choose clear quartz because it literally enhances all of the properties of the other stones around it. It's very connecting. It's very higher vibrational. Clear quartz does everything. It does everything, you guys.
It's the multi-tool.
It's the multitasker. So it does everything and will enhance anything that it goes with. So we're starting with some clear quartz here. I am going to also put some lapis down here. And the reason I am using lapis is very, very, very good for your health. It is metaphysically known to assist in prevention of illnesses. Well, gee, why would we want that right now? Well, because COVID, so why not? So let's get this going here, and that is what I'm doing with these. So all of these, this has already been activated, you guys, and the way I activate stones, I use my breath. I talk to them and I tell them exactly what they're doing, or I will get the feeling of what they're doing inside of me, and then I blow onto the stone. So this lapis has been used for both spiritual and physical health. It also has grounding properties because it includes pyrite, which is also a stone of abundance. So we are moving on then. So I've got my lapis sat down. Now, I know that Wayne has these right here for us. He's got these little spots, and I love those little spots. But my energy is telling me to put the moldavite here. Why? I don't know. I don't question it. I just do it. And that's okay. That's totally okay. You do your own thing. They really do end up looking like mandalas. They're very gorgeous. I love them.
And that was part of my intention with making this grid, is so that we've got different spaces here. We've got a space here to put something here, and then you've got these pockets in between that also can work, and you've got the pockets in here that could that you could put something as well. So.
You're awesome, Wayne.
So what is the this stone again?
Moldavite. So moldavite, my intention with the moldavite is a huge heart, throat, third eye, crown connector. I mean, it moves heart up. So it's very, very huge. It's also really good. It's an amazing stone for universal abundance. And there are so many people that Wayne and I have gotten to talk to because of what we do that are really, really going through struggle right now. So we want to invite that love, that universal abundance that's there for all of us in for all of that right now. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to pop in some Larimar. Larimar is a stone. It literally is known, one of the names for it is the stone of earth healing. I want, oh my goodness, I want Pachamama, I want Mama Gaia, I want Mother Nature to be okay. I mean, just wow right now. So that's the intention of Larimar. We'll not go any further in that, but the Larimar, there is that intention, just because I do want that earth healing. It's going to emit healing and loving energies. So that's what I'm going for there. I've chosen Celestite. Celestite provides a bright hope. Oh, look at that. I get the Fibonacci's. Oh, wow. Love. So Celestite provides a bright hope into times of despair. And right now we are in a general malaise, I guess, would be how I would describe it. It just feels thick as you're walking around. Yes. So we are going to bring in that light into those moments of despair here. It's very calming. It actually transmutes chaos into an energy of light and love. So there's my Celestite here, you guys, and that's what it's doing. Now, I'm going to go for my protection stones. Yes, I am. So I have chosen both fire agate and black tourmaline. I always choose black tourmaline. That's a me thing. I wear black tourmaline daily. I have it buried in the four corners of my house, but let's move back to the fire agate since I'm playing with that.
And these are lovely. And you explained these to me. You said these were very powerful.
I love fire agate. Fire agate is fiercely protective. When I say fiercely, I mean fierce. It's like, it's fierce. It's the Thurasaz of the stone. It's Thor's hammer. It is. It's very, it is. It is Thor's hammer. That's exactly what it is. And it literally shoots the energy that's being sent to us that is not for the greater good of our inner or outer environments. Shoots it back to the individual who sent it, not in hopes of like, nah, you're it. It's more of a, hey, we just really want you to spiritually grow as well. So we are shooting that back at you so that we can see that spiritual growth and that's working for you right now. So it's really a very kind shoot back, like, hey, this is what you're doing. Can you please recognize it? And hopefully that's going to put you on a path for your own spiritual alignment. Oh, wow. So it doesn't do any harm or anything like that. No, it just kind of, no, not at all. Not at all. It's just protecting us to make sure that our grid is for love and well-being only. We really, really, really don't want that grid to be for anything but what we are intending to send out. So we're going to shoot anything that's coming at this grid out back to that sender, so that in hopes they can recognize what they're doing and then continue on their merry journeys. This is my black tourmaline. Black tourmaline I always set on four corners. That's my own energy, you guys. I'm huge into pyramids. I love pyramids. There's a lot of pyramids in my life. So if you can see, these connect to a base, and then they are also connecting overhead. All right. And there is my pyramid of protection. That, again, very resonant with me. You can do it however you want to do it. Black tourmaline assists in dispelling any energies that are not for the greater good from within the environment and a surrounding environment. It also purifies an area. So it's not only dispelling, it's purifying at the same time, which I love. So we can cleanse and clear. And it also is really, really good for psychic, physical, emotional, mental, any sort of attack. So it's just the all around, I love it. Each stone here also vibrates with a different element. All of these stones, I have all elements representative in here just because of the fact I am going for earth and the healing of all. We want to make sure all elements are encompassed. So we've got both fire and earth in our fire agate. Our larimore is water. Our lapis is water. Our moldavite is fire. Our celestite is air. We've got more water here in the tourmaline, which I super love how much water is in here just because of the fact it's regeneration and rebirth. I mean, that's totally what we're going for. So how beautiful is that popped up with the stones that I chose. So I thought that was fun. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect my stones. Now remember, I have already activated all of these individually by either breathing on them or speaking to them as to what they are doing. That has already previously been done. So these stones know what they're about ready to get started doing. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to connect all my stones. And I use a wand. I use a selenite wand, you guys. A lot of people use clear quartz. You can use clear quartz as well. This is energy-based only. This is what feels right to you. Please use what feels right to you. It's not wrong. So I'm going to start at my central generator. And then I'm going to go out.
Do you have to touch them, or do you I mean, you prefer to touch them?
I prefer to touch them. You do not have to touch them. I do. My energy says, touch me. So I am going to go ahead and touch them, and I'm literally going to do every single one of these, and I'm going to shoot it out like a star. So when you see this, you're not going to see me connecting every single stone to every single stone. That's not my intention on this one. I'm shooting this out as a star. That's what's in my mind, I guess. That's what I feel. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know how else to explain that except for that's my energy. That's what my energy is seeing right now. So I am going to connect all these stones to the generator and make sure they know that they are all working together. My generator knows it's enhancing this. It is bringing on all of these traits for the stones, all the properties that I am using. These stones have multiple properties, you guys. They are not activated for all of the properties that they have. There's no reason to do that.
Right, so that's the other thing, too, isn't exactly what we do with the runes, too. We're activating a certain aspect of the stones.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Now, how long would you leave a grid up for?
I leave the grid up until my energy says to take it down.
Really?
I really, really do. There are some grids that I only have going for 24 hours. Like I am super duper tired this morning and I really need the extra oomph, or that's something I'll set up some citrine real quick in the morning. Like a citrine.
Really?
Yeah, I'll set citrine, and normally red calcite is what I choose, or topaz. Those are my stones that I choose for vitality. Like, let's get moving again. You know, I'm a little meh.
So you can set up a grid in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get your day rolling and you know, with your cup of coffee or whatnot. And
my
then you can
5 cups of coffee.
And then you take it down afterwards, and you can use it for so many different things. Like
Absolutely.
That. Really? Oh, so
150%. So tell me, I want to know now, like, what would you do with this, with some runes? I mean, how would you incorporate the runes into this? Like, I'm excited to see that.
As far as leaving it up too, one thing I know that we do with a lot of things is, like, if you'd have a rune grid, it's kind of a ceremonial type of how long you leave it up, I guess, that kind of option or that kind of choice. 3 is a great number. Sometimes I'll leave mine up for 3 days.
Yep, 3 days or 4 days if you resonate with Native American culture, because they are all directions.
All the directions.
That is true, because 9 I will honor directions.
Yes,
9.
9 days if it's especially if it is a protective grid for your home or something, or there's something that is just going to take a little longer to achieve. You might leave it up for 9 days.
Or if I'm working on the moon phases, you guys, those do stay up for a month. That will stay up for a month or 2 weeks. Normally it's full moon or new moon that I'm working with. So it's going to stay up for that cycle, or it's going to stay up for the entire month while I have other grids going on the side. But
or
really,
if you have cats, it's going to stay up for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a fun one too. Get them up out of the way of animals. I have 2. Like, get them up. Good call.
And you finally have 50 stones down on the grid, and the cat's like, my energy says knock these all on the floor. So yeah. Well, let me pull out some runes here. So one of the things that when I was listening to what you were talking about here with some of these, we're going to pull out a few of these runes here. And one rune that I liked that I want to add in as we were talking. I would incorporate Thurasaz with this. I believe this is backwards, so you're going to want to read it that way. There we go. Thurasaz is, again, the same thing that I believe this stone does. The
fire agate.
The fire agate
nice.
Does. So we're going to put Thurasaz in there, too.
Oh, I like Thurasaz.
That's Thor's hammer. And the other thing that we want is to, I think that might be a good one. I would like to add in this, which is Wunjo, which translates to joy. Oh. I always like to have Wunjo in my grids, especially if they're for healing, protection, anything. I think joy is a key ingredient into all of these things. If you do things without joy, then it doesn't really, you can, yeah.
I love that. That's going to go really well with both Celestite and Moldavite.
Let's look at the vitality end of things. We're looking at health, healing, vitality, and that would be Urus. Again, let me do this. Wait, I hit the little wand, right? You hit the wand. Oh, yay. Then you hit the tools. Then you hit that. There we go. So it's going to look weird to us, but it will look good to everyone else. So now we can see that. So this is Urus. Urus is the wild oxen, not the cattle like Fehu. Cattle, the more cattle you have back in the day, the more wealth you had or prosperous you were.
Those are trades for wives back in the day. Even still now in some tribal lands in Africa. Seriously, they trade cattle for wives.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? Some
true
swingers
story.
Yeah. Well, this though, unlike those cattle, this is the wild oxen. This means, this is kind of that untamed, undomesticated, ancient ox that was a symbol of vitality and strength. But also Urus is a healing rune. I often draw this rune onto my water bottles and speak to it so that it helps with healing. I will draw this on, I just lick my finger or something and draw it on my head or draw it on my neck wherever I was hurting. I would draw this on too. So I consider this rune the healing rune for myself. It has very high healing energy, so we're going to do that as well. We have a lot of water on here, so I think it's good to add Lagus, which is the rune of water.
Love.
It also indicates a female in a rune divination. It's a female energy. It also means, when you think of all things, if you think of the element of water and you're adding, and you're talking about Lagos, that means it's also a very intuitive rune. When I use it in divination, it's about, I would tell people that it means for you to check your intuition. That you can trust that intuition. So
that knowing.
And water, again, water can look very clear on the top, but you go down and below and it's really murky, or like in the cenotes.
It can be,
cenotes, you're above here and you've got this much room until the ceiling and it looks very small. And when you look underneath, it opens up into a wide, vast space. So when I see Lagus, I think of things, having that feeling of overcoming obstacles by being able to just maneuver out of the way. Picture a river and picture a salmon in the river pointing to upstream. Somehow it just kind of sits there in one position, letting the water roll right past it. It's so sleek. And anything, a stick or anything that comes in, starts to come down the river to it, it just moves out of the way. Moves out of the way. This is what you can do in water. Move out of the way.
We're just swimming.
Yeah, but you're not. Yeah, you're just easily doing it. So Lagus to me is a great rune for being able to let those things wash off you and wash through you. So there is healing, protection, vitality. Let's see what else we can do. So that's 4 runes. So you can say you've got these stones, you want to set up a rune grid, you would do this exactly in the same way. You'll want to look at what kind of stones you have, what kind of stones that you want to incorporate into, or what kind of aspects from those stones or crystals that you want to incorporate in, whatever the purpose is for the grid, the overall purpose. And then you just kind of go through the stones, and then you go through the runes. So we've got these 4 runes. Let's do 6. All right, let's do 6. And now I think since everybody's staying home, Othel is also a good one. This is also a very protective rune. I draw this on my car when I don't want to be pulled over.
Oh my gosh, that's
exactly.
funny. That's pyrite for me. Pyrite's in my car.
When I'm coming back from Oregon and I don't want the people sneaking through my luggage for some reason because I brought back, gifts for people, I put this on it. It works.
That took me a second.
Right? But this is a rune for home, and it signifies, and you look at it here, it kind of looks like here's your roof, and here's the land, and under here are these roots, these family roots, these ancestral roots.
I love that.
This is, what I would use, I would put this in there, just to indicate that this is something that is there to protect your family, your extended family, and your home in general, so that nothing gets brought in that you don't want. So, all right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do one more. I think the last one I want to put in here, and this is one I use again in a lot of my just general protective grids, is algaes, and that's kind of what this rune grid represents as well. When you look at this again, it looks like an upside down kind of peace sign. I always look at it like hands to the sky.
Oh, I love that.
Like, in it, yeah, like you're soaking in the sun. You're like walking out in your yard and you soak in the sun.
Like all is
it's the divine connection. This rune is also a very protective rune. Whenever you're feeling unsafe, or whenever I feel unsafe or just not protected, I will draw this on me again as well. This symbol is also algaes. If you look.
How fun is that?
Yeah, so if you have a problem, I always do algaes up here, and it's a good thing to have to, not only at rock concerts, but but if you need a hand symbol to ward off somebody that's breathing on you with no mask, or somebody that's just getting too close on the freeway, just getting aggressive with you, I can use algaes to pull down that divine connection and just kind of use it as a symbol.
Okay, I need to.
And again, that's
this.
what this is for anyway. This was the
This
protective.
is what Crocodile Dundee used to move the bull, the oxen we were speaking of earlier, off the road. It was like, hey, peace and protection, move. And that guy moved. You guys have got to see Crocodile Dundee if you haven't.
Yeah, I know. And that was like the third take because it charged him and almost killed him. Like the 2 takes before that.
Did it really?
No, I didn't.
That'd be super funny. Not really. That wouldn't be funny. I would not want anybody getting hurt. We don't want anybody getting hurt.
No. All right. So we're going to put down algaes. And this will offer protection, harmony, peace, and a connection with spirit and the divine. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runes to go in it. So I'm going to put these other runes away. And I'm going to pull out this other grid. Can we leave this set up and slide it possibly? Or I mean, or what we could do is just add the runes to them. Or set up another one that would work with that, because these are the only ones that we have. So let's use... since most people are going to have, I think, a similar one, and you have one like this, I'll use this grid, mainly because I know it's not Norse-centric, but I don't know if many people will have Norse-centric grids like what I've made up, or however else you want. So, and again, this is the same kind of, same kind of setup. Again, Flower of Life. It is a sacred geometry. So you may already have one of these, and you can use this as well. Again, we reiterate that if you don't have a crystal grid, you can draw one, or you can use just a cloth and just make sure that you hail the directions and set your intention, I think, in the right way, and also connect them, activate them, and that kind of thing. So I brought an engine as well. We're going to put this engine here. What I like to do is I would find north. I'll say I'll use this point here as north. And we're going to set this up here. So I'll set this up in the middle. So this would be north. And that's going to be kind of the intention, the focus of that. So I'm going to put Othel as the north facing rune. I like to face all my runes in one direction. I kind of get a little, I don't want them facing this way and the other one facing this way. I would like it to, like, if you walked around the grid, you'd be able to read the runes. On the other hand, home, on the other side of it, I'm going to put joy. I like Wunjo here for joy, as we can see. Move around here. Now we have Thurisaz, which is very protective. We're going to put that here, I think, a little closer to the engine. On the other side of that, we've got Uru's healing, and 2 more, which looks like now I need to get even 2 more runes. I got to do 4 or 6.
Do 6.
Otherwise, I'll be like, I got 6. Where am I going to put these 2?
So personally, y'all, when this comes up with me,
Yeah.
I resonate with Merkaba. So I always fall back on sacred geometry. And for Merkaba, we all know that's the Star of David, or it's the 6-pointed star. Yeah. So all I'm going to do here is just make a couple of adjustments so that we are now set up in a 6-pointed star.
Oh, all right.
How
so
fun
you
is
can
still,
you can still,
and
again,
we
this is
can
still north.
get
Oh,
him.
yeah,
Yep,
okay.
we can still get him to sit at north and south, just so we've got our. This was protection, right?
Yes.
Yes, and
This
then
is
this is joy, home and
protection.
protection and joy.
Joy.
I love that. So we still have our north and our south nodes. If we go like this, because this is literally north for us, you guys. I
Oh,
just
right,
wanna let
yeah,
you
we
know,
are
no
facing
matter
north.
where you are, this is north for us. So, but that's what I would do when I'm setting up a grid. Earlier, Wayne was setting up, and he had so this beautiful grid that I used that he brought out, and it had 8 points. Well, I had already grabbed 6 of each stone, just because I resonate with 6 a lot. So I know me, and I knew to do that just because that's how I resonate. And so this kind of works out beautifully because, wow, look at that.
See, it does.
How fun is that?
And so we've got these here. So let's put in the stones.
Yeah.
So we're going to, can we take some of the stones from this grid?
Absolutely.
All right.
150%.
Let's do one again. I think we definitely need to have the fire agates in there again. And I want to explain to them too when choosing a positioning for this. Again, it's just trying to, once you have the runes in there, we're going to pull from the acid. So wherever you put the crystals, you do it pretty much in the same manner as the crystal grid. You do not have to have a certain number, or you can put, I mean, do you ever do a ring of different stones? I mean, this one shows different stones here, one here, one here.
Right.
These are all different.
So a lot of my grids, again, you guys, if I'm going for like vitality, I just need a little oomph in the morning, I'll have citrine and red calcite, or topaz and red calcite. I'll just have 2. If I have a grid going at home, actually, that I started 2 weeks ago, and it really is just on the love and healing. I did a sound healing for nurses, hospice nurses, you guys, and they do, oh my goodness, just God bless them, seriously, source bless them, however you resonate, universe bless them, they are amazing, and they have some hard work. So I set up a grid for them that I am intentionally leaving for a month. Heart health, healing, love, the connection of the love for all, the beauty of it. So I have that one going at home, and it's just green calcite and clear quartz. So a very simple grid.
Now these are...
That's perfect.
What do you think this is?
Those are celestite. So the celestite was pulled for the tranquility and calming, the transmutation of chaos into more of a light and a love. It provides that brightness of hope into our despairs, our situations right now.
All right, so we need that.
I love this.
So sometimes, basically what we get to do is we get to replace some of the stones with the runes, so we don't necessarily need all of them, as long as you've got the intention into the runes the same way. And like you activated the crystals and the stones, you can do the same thing with the runes. You can pull the runes that you want to have, and then you can hold them in your hand and set that intention, just like you would do before you did a divination reading for somebody. You can hold each rune in your hand then, and really think about the aspects you want to pull from that rune. Because again, many of these runes have different meanings. And you want to just be able to say, okay, Thurisaz, all I want from you is that protectiveness of Thor's hammer, or the rose. A lot of times Thurisaz is depicted as, say, like a rose, a thorn. So if you look at if you look at this, this way, it looks like there's a thorn on a rose bush thing. So it kind of, even though it's a beautiful rose, it's protected by this thorn. So when it comes up in a rune reading like that, that's kind of what I look at, like it's kind of the protection symbol. When it's like this, it looks like more of an axe, and actually Mullen, the first weapon of Thor was an axe, not a hammer. Most of the followers, most of the followers of Thor, wielded axes, because he's the god of the everyday man. Everybody, he's the drinking buddy. He is the one that protects the blue collar worker, the downtrodden, but also. Again, axes were more common than anything in the Norse communities, and swords were very much not carried on an everyday basis.
Right.
An axe was.
Right.
Hammers weren't; they were used by the specific artisans. So it's kind of interesting that Mjolnir became his hammer when it was actually the axe first. So anytime you see somebody wearing an axe pendant, that's for Thor.
That's Thor.
So, yeah.
How fun is that?
Yeah, so I'll have that in there as well. So now we've got these aspects here.
I did add, while we were discussing and while Wayne was going at it, I did add the Moldavite back in. I'm just a huge one. I really, 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 really believe that everything resonates from the heart. I'm a huge one for that. So I always, always, always will have a stone of the heart in there. And this is a huge, beautiful, universal abundance and heart stone.
Oh, well, let me do this too. So while we're talking about that, the heart stone, I would also use this rune. It looks like an X.
Heart marks the spot.
Yeah, it is.
I love it.
That's exactly what I talk to people about. So you can also put that if you're looking for love, if you're looking for peace, harmony, kind of just a group, like a warm hug grid.
Yum!
You would use this, or if you're trying to attract a lover. Things like this, or if you're looking for that kind of thankfulness and that gratefulness, this is the rune for you. This is Gifu, the gift rune, and again, it looks like it's an X, so it's like the gift, and it also is a very sexual rune. It's for passion and love, and it is also a way to tie together multiple runes on a rune stave. So you'd have your intention runes here and on here, and this would be either the middle rune or it would be the very end rune, So, So you would have some runes on this side and this side for the staves. But this is a great rune for this stone right here.
I love that. Can we put it underneath it? Would that hurt it? Because
you want to put it underneath the engine? Because this would then tie together.
Yes.
This would work with the engine to tie together all the runes. It is a great rune to tie together things. Again, when you talk about passion and sex and just the giving, it's that connection between people of passion and of just high level, high energy that makes that rune work like that.
I decided that's my favorite rune. I just want to let you know right now that's my favorite rune, and I like it because quartz on top of this rune, you guys. They're both enhancing each other right now. That's a big deal, and if you have a rune like that in your grid. That is representation of that heart marks the spot, that connection of all, that universal connection. You could take the Moldavite out because it's already represented. So if there's another stone you wanted to use, you could absolutely say, hey, I've got this represented in rune. You can leave the Moldavite in, so they are all enhancing each other. You've got clear quartz, rune, and Moldavite enhancing each other, working together. Or you can take that out and you can put in, let's say I'm going to put in my Larimar instead. We're gonna we've got that universal love and abundance that's going right now with the rune, which is super cool and I love. So we're gonna do the Moldavite for universal healing and connection. So now we've got this one, the stone of healing earth in there, meaning the healing and loving energies. So it's also working. Yeah. This is beautiful. This is fun.
See, I really like the look of it using crystals with runes because, runes themselves are very elemental to me. The way that they're laid out, there's no rounded things on these runes, mainly because a knife was used to carve them. So the easiest way to make these symbols is straight lines. And it's good. So another rune that it's nice to use is Manaz, which is the rune of mankind, the rune of humankind. Ooh. This one often indicates people, a group of people, and this could be coworkers, friends, things like that. Whenever there's if you're trying to say you get a new job and you want to get along with a lot of people, all your coworkers, or say you've got a family reunion coming up and you want to,
That's happening right now, you guys. Holidays, whether it's Zoom or not.
Manas is the rune that kind of enhances that interaction, I think. So you can, when this comes up in a rune reading, it often indicates a group, that the issue is regarding a group of people, whatever and it's usually their work or something. This is a wonderful rune to use if you're doing a rune grid that is like you're going to have a bunch of people over, have a party, and you want to cleanse and really bring some just stupendously happy vibes into your house before you have your party. Then you could use this rune in that grid as well. So, but now that we've got all this set up here, you'll have it all, and you'll do the exact same thing. You'll take your wand and you'll go from point to point, and you would do exactly like you would with the. Oh, here we go. Yeah. All right. So you would take this and you would activate each point and each rune. So I should do that this way so you guys can actually see. There we go. You would activate your stone, activate the rune exactly like you would the stone. You go back and you just go all the way around. Don't forget the ones in between. Once you do that, that will activate the grid. And again, I usually leave these up for 3 days. Use your own judgment on how you want to leave them up. But then also it's helpful to have a couple of rune sets because you're going to have one up for a couple of days. If you have to do a reading or you want to do a reading, you won't have another set.
Absolutely.
But these are great. And and you can use any runes. And in fact, it's also really cool. This is a really good use for those stone runes. I'm not a fan of the runes that are carved on stones, which a lot of you see in the stores a lot. They're stone runes. I'm not a huge fan of using them for divination, but they are like ideal for this.
That's funny. So I can tell you, I have Amazonite and Bronzite runes. I don't resonate with rune, but I resonate with rock. And I'm learning about rune. This is super cool to me. Yeah. Like me getting to learn this is seriously awesome. I love these symbols. So, but I honestly prefer to use just the natural rock. It kind of makes me sad sometimes when I look at the rocks and they've been etched in and then painted on. That makes me sad. So,
really
but
nice.
They do work. They do work really, really well. I can tell you that when I have chosen to use them, learn about them, things like that. That your energy literally draws those runes. And Bronzite, I've used the two for different things. So Bronzite is very grounding, very stable. So when you're working on like health and wellness, or if you're working on matters of stability or environmental wellness, things like that, I went towards Bronzite. Amazonite is really, really healing. We call it Amazing Night here in the story, guys. Like it does everything. It's pretty impressive. So when I'm working more on a spiritual level, a heart level, a throat level, I've used the Amazonite runes. And they're super fun. Again, my energy draws exactly what needs to be drawn. So it really doesn't matter whether or not they're stone or wood when it's working with your energy. I personally am a huge nature fanatic. I love the wood. I love what Wayne has done here. These are beautiful carvings, and it's just so natural. This is how runes were created. This is exactly how they were originally established, was through rune. So it was through wood and rune carving. So
right. And these right here, so these are etched. Wait, I should show you these since I need to hold them up. All right, so these runes here are etched, and again about the stone runes. It's the same thing. It's almost to the point of being redundant if you use them in a grid, but I still like the thought. If you're into it, that's the only rune set you have. I guess what I'm trying to say is not wrong. The runes here, so these are the etched ones. They're still made of wood. Here's some other ones that I made. This is my first rune set that I made. This is a closet dowel that I cut.
Wow.
And,
that's cool.
And I made it, stained it, oiled them, but used a wood burner to carve these into. These are not necessarily great for casting because if you let them drop or whatever, they will roll all over the place. Yes, basically Spirit will mock you for throwing these in any direction. Now they are perfect because they are round again. These are really, really nice to use in a grid. So if you don't use them for casting, these are really good for pulling, for laying out, doing readings. If you lay them out, they're good for that. I like them. I have multiple sets. It's kind of like dice. I am a fiend for that, and I love multiple sets of runes. I use them for different things. So this one was, again, the set that I made. And this might be the set. I always encourage anybody that uses runes to make a set. Go through the process of making your own set of runes. It is imperative it's like studying what the meanings of crystals are. It is imperative. You will get so much gratification even if you don't know how to make things. You can make a set of runes. The other ones, let me see, these I got here from Charlie actually. I think these are locally made, but these ones are metal.
That's cool. That's pewter.
So,
is that pewter?
Yeah, so if you want another element as a part of your grid.
Yeah. And metals, when it comes to stone, you guys, this is awesome. So I love copper. I will tell you that. That's my metal. But metals are conduits. Really? They are conduits. They direct energy. Yes, absolutely, 150%.
This might be a really good set to use for a grid, especially if it's a power grid, right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. A grid for empowerment, a grid for creativity, things like that. A grid for like sending out, casting away, like go, like this is very powerful. You're right. You're right. Very powerful.
So when I started, I was using there's rune staves that you make. Basically, you carve on a stick or a stave of some sort. You carve out the runes, and you do the same thing here. It's kind of the same. You're wanting to draw aspects of each rune, and a rune stave. Oh, this one even has Gifu in it. Would either. This would be at the end, or it would connect the two, but you would be able to use your runes kind of like a bind rune, but it would be in a stave. You do your ritual for it, you carve them out, you invoke the aspects of, evoke the aspects of each rune that you want, and then you hold on to it. You put it where it's supposed to work. You want to do for career success or whatever. You keep that rune stave. It usually has this stick that's got it has it on there, and you just keep that by your computer or something.
So I have a question. Mm-hmm. How about if I decided to grab a candle for intention and I wanted to carve the rune imagery on the candle and burn that? Would that work as well?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's one of the reasons I really like runes is that they're easy to carve, so they're easy to transfer onto different things. Like if you want to write them on, I usually write them on my hands if if I'm looking for protection, or if I have I was going to do it today and I totally forgot, but if I usually for the day I will write runes on my hands. I don't tattoo runes on myself. Again, it's kind of the rock etching thing. I love tattoos, but I probably will not get a rune tattoo because I practice with runes and I want to be able to change it.
Right, it changes daily.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to tattoo Moldavite on me because that's going to change
tomorrow. We can sear it in and super glue Moldavite all over you, right? But yeah, so this is really we could use this in a thing. I mean, I used to do the rune staves, and then I used to just lay them out because I really wanted to get this thing, or I really want this, really want to put this intention out there. So I started laying the runes out on a grid like this, just to have them out so I can see it, like creating a rune stave, but only using your grid as the stave. And so that's where I came up with. I think you can incorporate runes as its own grid. Now, do you need any stones on a rune grid? In that aspect, I would say it would be a different type of grid. Mm-hmm. Again, anytime you do a grid, you are invoking those or evoking those energies of whatever materials that you put on here. We're even dealing with the energies of the wood. We're dealing with energies of this man-made plastic, and we're dealing with the energies of this thick piece. All of it's connected. All of it is working together in harmony. So, if you don't use any of the stones, then you can use other things. You can use when you go back to carving in runes. Let me get back to that first because I did have a thought and I just remembered it. You can use. That's why runes are really easy to use like that because cool. A lot of people I've read somewhere where somebody takes a banana and they will just lightly score the peel with a rune or a bind rune, a combination of 2 to 3 runes together to create almost its own little walking grid, a symbol that invokes 3 or 4 different runes aspects.
That is super cool.
You're doing the same thing with a rune grid. Again, you're putting runes together, you're calling out those aspects, and you're activating it. And so some people do that like on a banana, and then you leave it for a couple hours, and that peel wherever you scored it will actually turn dark, and you'll be able to see it. Then you eat the banana with that intention and love of whatever you pulled that rune for. So
oh, cool.
wow,
Cinnamon's talking. She's talking about some
Cinnamon.
oak acorn runes and
Ooh.
working on seashells right now. That is.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. In nature, you guys.
Right.
That is just so beautiful. Everything we need is given to us, even for divination. Isn't
Right.
that beautiful? I love that, Cinnamon. I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, please.
And Derek, thank you. I was excited to learn about runes today because I'm the rock person. So I agree with you. I think this is super fun to be incorporating both rune and stone together. Because you guys, you can take different divinations, and definitely they all vibe with so many different properties. Everything we have, herbs, candles, runes, stone, they all have multiple properties for each one. So when we are putting them with like properties of different areas of divination, all we're doing is enhancing those. Mm-hmm. We are gaining knowledge on something that maybe we were unaware of. We're learning. We're learning. We are expanding, and we are empowering ourselves to take forth to others. And I just really like that with something so simple. Mm-hmm. Something so simple. So that's,
and beautiful.
That's super fun. Yes.
As well. You could set this up in your home. You can set candles. Set it up on your altar. You can really.
Barbados. Nice.
Really, you can really do some stuff with this, and it looks nice. But some people might be like, well, these are rocks. Really, you're talking to rocks?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
they're
am.
magic. What are you guys talking about?
Yes, they are. I'm that person. Yes.
Yes.
You know why? Because
Besides
my
being
energy makes them.
Yeah.
So that's my energy.
But even logically, just think of it this way: if you go through the simple act of gathering the rocks together, the stones, the gemstones, the crystals, you go through that act of putting together a rune grid, and you pull out those runes and you set those in there. You know what they mean, and you start thinking about it. Your mind is already, your subconscious is already starting to go like, hey, I have a goal that I want with this setup. I'm just going to do this process. Regardless of what you believe, you do the process, and it puts it into your mind, and it helps activate and it helps manifest that desire. So regardless of what you know about stones, regardless of what you know about runes, regardless of what you know about spiritual energy, think about every day when you do a routine or a ritual, what you're trying to do, and how you're supposed to, how you're going to be able to accomplish that. You always put the first off that intention and that thought, and you're doing the same thing here. Mm-hmm. The cool thing is that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It really doesn't matter. If you want to believe in it, believe in it. If you want to study it longer, then go buy the books. Go do the research, and you're going to find, more often than not, you're going to find a really good correlation between whatever belief you had before and what you learn. And,
very true.
I don't think there's anybody that doesn't think that nature in general doesn't have power. If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. But I mean, if it is your thing, this is a really fun thing to put together and to combine these elements together as well. So. And
another thing, for people who, I have a lot of people I talk to, how do you meditate? What do you do to meditate? I can't sit. This is a really good way, like you're wanting to learn about this, or you just want to set up a grid. Literally, just setting the grid up itself allowed you to be still, focus intention, and carry out. That's meditation. That's just, you have the ability to be still. You set out an intention. You started the day, you ended the day in a manner that was possibly more spiritual or calmer than what it normally is. Just intentions. They're just like rosaries. Rosaries are used as tools of intention and prayer. Prayer itself, spells, candle work. Anything like that, you guys, it all comes from within. We are. I mean, we just are. We are, I am, right?
I am, yeah.
We just are. We have all of that in us, and these are beautiful tools that we get to use that have been provided to us by nature. to set out. So they are, you guys, these are all for intentions, manifestations, protections, dispellings, prayers, spells, whatever. They're all one.
Here.
It's all one.
Yep. Here's a look at both of the grids here a little bit. We're going to show you one more time, and then I think we're about done. If you've got any questions about rune grids, about crystal grids, or anything like that, please feel free to hit me up on Runeways on the Facebook page here or whatever, and I'll pass on anything that I don't know to you. And you can tell me. But yeah, if you want to purchase any crystals or rocks, well, then you have to come down here to Next Millennium and talk to Chris.
Yeah, you can talk to me or give us a call. We do ship too, so yeah, we can do that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, also it's a really great excuse to start collecting stones and crystals. Because you need a few, right? You need at least 6.
Really?
Yeah,
Who needs an excuse?
Come on.
Look, they're beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
They're so
I know,
pretty.
dude. Awesome. All right. Well, here you can go back through this video and you'll be able to watch it. Any of you that are watching now live, thank you for watching. Rebecca, hello. Nancy, hello. Thank you for chiming in and checking us out. Chelsea, Greg.
Aw, thank you, Tyler. That
Logan.
was kind.
Aw, Lee. All you guys, thank you very much for watching us. I hope to do more of these quick classes. So that we can kind of, I don't know, get the word out there.
Yeah.
And I like being here at the store. It's always nice. And if you guys, again, have any suggestions for things that you want to learn about that we can teach you, please send us a note. Send me a note on, by us, I mean the people in my head. Right there at Runeways. You can find more. You can email me at runewaysinfo@gmail.com. You can check out Next Millennium on Facebook as well as the website. The
website is magicalomaha.com. We do shipping. You're not going to see a lot of the stone on the website, so please call us 402-393-1121. We are happy to grab whatever you need and assist you.
Yeah.
So.
All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, thanks for watching. I can't wait to do this again.
I'm excited.
All right.
Have such a beautiful day. Happy holidays coming up. Be
and
well.
Take care, right?
Be well.